All right, injuries. Derek Carrier has an Achilles sprain. He'll be day-to-day. Could not return, though. Dunbar, index finger, open dislocation. He's going to see a hand specialist, and we'll see where he is. Chris Thompson had AC joint sprain. He came back in. And then Chris Baker had an elbow extension something, and he came back in. He played. He'll be all right.
Coach, I'm sure you learned a lot about your team today with this victory.
Yeah. You do. I've already had a good idea about this team, what we've already, how far they progress and how hard they work every day. So I've had a good idea. It's just a matter of showing everybody else how far they've come. And today I think, is another example of coming out fast, great intensity, and then weathering a storm by a great New York Giant football team and quarterback.
Coach, how come this team is so different at home compared to the road?
Well, every game is different, and we have different obstacles every game, and we just haven't handled the road ones very well, obviously, with the turnovers and the miscues. Today we had no turnovers, and you can see how much of an impact that has in a football game. So can't put our hand on it, but eventually we're going to have to go on the road and win a meaningful game this year. But we're worried about Dallas now.
Jay, Alfred Morris had a lot of touches today. Was that by design, considering the last few weeks it was more of a committee with your backs?
Yeah, I think Alfred felt good, was running the ball pretty well, so we stuck with him, and he had some good hits. So, like I said before the season started, I have faith in Alfred and Matt and Chris for that matter. Randy's handling the substitution pattern, and I really don't care who's in there. I like them both. But Alfred, when you feel like somebody's rolling pretty well and protecting the football, then Alfred was a guy.
Coach, you mentioned during the week that the opportunity that was here for your team, still playing for the NFC East lead. It's all in front of you there, still available. Did you emphasize that to your team that that you guys have a chance here to go on and win the division? Was that a point of emphasis this week?
No, the point of emphasis was rebounding from a Carolina defeat and playing a New York Giant team who's beat us 3 times in a row. That was the main point of emphasis, man. We had to challenge our guys to rebound from that loss against Carolina, but also play a division rival at our place who's beat us the last 3 times. Whatever happens after that, man, standings tied for first, I don't care about that. When we play hard, we play focused, we protect the football, we can be a tough team to beat.
Jay, Kirk had 300 yards, 1 touchdown, no turnovers. How did you assess his game and his performance?
After a loss, I said that nobody gets a passing grade after a win. Everybody does. I think Kirk played well. The last third down completion to Jordan Reed, patience in the pocket, was his best play of the day. But he made some good plays all day today, made some good decisions, made some ones that I'm sure he'll wish he had back. But overall, he managed the game extremely well, and I'm happy about his performance.
Jay, in all areas of the game, offense, defense, special teams, big plays, have you seen your team any better than they were in the second quarter?
They were pretty good, yeah. Deshaun had a big hit on a nice play-action pass, and, our defense was flying all over the place, which I love to see that, man, because I know, come late in the season, that's the meal ticket right there, playing good defense, rushing the passer, covering receivers up, and flying around to the football. That's what I was most impressed with. So I'm happy as heck the way they played. We gave up a couple late touchdowns, great throw by Eli on the corner route on 4th and 15, and then, a great catch by Odell on the third down, or the bomb in the corner. But overall, I think our defense was outstanding. The pass rush, the DBs, the coverage. Dunbar got a pick, Blackman got a pick. It was good to see him fly around.
Coach, you kind of just pointed on it, but how big were the interceptions, and vital for the win?
They're big. They're momentum, and it just justifies when you play with great effort, great things are going to happen. We had pressure on the quarterback. We had a great hit by Kayshawn Jarrett. The ball pops up, and Blackman gets an interception. Dunbar has great coverage in the red zone. Perry Riley had an excellent interception. So I just liked the way I just felt the great energy on the sidelines. The home crowd had a lot to do with it. The success had a lot to do with it. I think the challenge of where we are, the division opponent, the New York Giants, had a lot to do with it. So, the key and the trick for us is going to be to maintain this type of effort and momentum come Monday night.
Also, you've talked about execution at various times this year. Were you pleased that all 3 areas seemed to execute well, not blown assignments, not?
Yeah, we had a couple. We had a couple unfortunate holding calls early, and offensive PI, which I'll have to check out the film on. But those are things we need to clean up. Early in the game, we had a chance to. We had great field position, 2 interceptions back to back, and we got nothing. We had the 2 holding calls, which were unfortunate. But there are some things definitely we can still clean up. We had a 3rd down and 5. We ran a 4-yard route, which obviously you can't do. We had a fumbled handoff on 4th and 1, which is a huge play. So there's a lot of fundamental issues we can clean up and will clean up moving forward. But overall, I'm happy with the game.
Jay, the interesting story of Quentin Dunbar continues. I mean, the pick and then the play that got hurt on, big batted down pass. I mean, what do you think of his performance and the way he's stepped up now that you've had some cornerbacks go down? You need that from those guys.
Yeah, no question. He's playing well. He's a big, long kid and got some talent. It's just a matter of him going out and playing. And you just never know until you throw a guy out there. And that's the fun part of coaching sometimes. You get to see how they do. Some guys sink, some guys swim. Obviously, he's swimming pretty well right now, but he hurt his finger, and we'll have to get him evaluated. But he's a guy that is going to continue to develop and hopefully get better and better.
Coach, Jordan Reed had kind of a rough start with holding and the offensive pass interference, but then made big plays late in the game. How important is he to your offense?
Oh, he's very important. Like I said, when you play two safeties, and if you want to, like the last play, the last third down is a great example. When you play man coverage underneath and two safeties over the top, your linebackers or your backs are the ones that got to win. And Jordan has proven he can do that. So he's a huge weapon for us. Kirk's very comfortable with him, and he's obviously a big part of our offense.
Jay, you mentioned the first two drives that go nowhere. I think it was the third drive that was the one play shot to Deshaun. How much did their defense change after that, seeing that deep threat was there?
Not much. I think they're just a little bit more aware. When we had a lead and we were in some different personnel groupings, and we had a lot more plays drawn up. But when Carrier hurt us, the personnel grouping went down the tube, which hurt us a little bit. But overall, I think they played good, solid defense. They're a very aggressive defense with their safeties, and we were able to get one shot behind them.
Jay, what did you see with the pass rush and being able to take advantage of a Giants offensive line that was injured coming in and then had another big blow during the game?
Yeah, no, our pass rush was coming. I like the fact that it was somebody different. Ryan had a big game, obviously, and I saw a lot of guys back there. And I don't know how many sacks we had, but I like the fact that I felt Eli was, felt the pressure and had to get rid of the ball a lot quicker than he wanted to on a lot of occasions. So, overall, we're just going to keep working, keep grinding on that pass rush with the young guys, Trenton, Preston, and then Ricky Jean, and Hatcher. Those guys got to keep coming, and obviously Ryan's our bell cow.
Coach, this team has had more than its share of injuries, yet you've got guys that weren't even on the roster week one making big-time plays for you. How important has that been, the job that Scott McCloughan has done to bring in guys, to fill in holes?
Yeah, that's important. I can't say enough about the coaching staff getting these guys ready to play, too. Scott's done an excellent job. Alex Santos, all those guys up there in the personnel department. But when they get down to us on the field, it's up to the coaches to get them ready to play. And that's easier said than done, but they've done a great job. Perry Fuel in the secondary, unbelievable job, and everybody for that matter. It's just a matter of keep grinding on these players, keep developing these young players, and when the opportunity presents itself for these young players, they have to take advantage of it, and they did today, a lot of them.
A little bit bigger picture. When you took over a 3-13 team. You're now in first place. It may be by a tiny amount, but you're in first place. Big picture, what does that mean for the organization? What does it mean for you personally?
Well, I think we're 5-6 right now. Really, we're just trying to move forward and try to develop these players and get it to where we want it to get. But to be 5-6 after 11 games in a position we're in where we control what we control our own destiny, basically, to have that opportunity is great instead of hoping everybody else loses. But, we're just going to keep grinding one game at a time. And, everybody made a big deal about this is a make or break game or whatever. It just continues every week. Man, when you're this late in the season, in the position that we're in, you have to take this one game at a time. There's no question about it. And Dallas is coming, so we'll just keep staying focused on them.
Coach, this season, the resiliency you guys have shown has been impressive, bouncing back from losses. This was a statement game by all intents and purposes. What does it say? You said earlier that you knew what the team was like, but to be able to show it to everyone else, what does that mean?
It means a lot. We just have to keep showing these guys that their work is going to pay off. But really, to be able to bounce back from Carolina is a great thing to see. It really was. But it's going to be also important for us to bounce back from a game like this, an emotional game, an important game, a game that we had to win. So how we bounce back from this victory is going to be equally as important how we bounce back from Carolina. But I'm impressed with the team and the way they're working, obviously, and have a lot of respect for these players. I'm happy for them. But we also understand that there's no time to take a deep breath. We have to keep grinding.
Thanks, Coach.
Yep.